enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. What we gon' have a ball?
Unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
97.3 Citi FM. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with
Melody Fafa Kotife.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
The comment by the Kwalibu Doctors Association is very misleading and reckless as the General Secretary of the Medical Laboratory Workers Union to demand an immediate retraction of that statement and apology to the entire Ghanaian population.
Hundreds of patients left stranded at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital following withdrawal of OPD services by doctors. Tonight, we hear from the doctors and the lab technicians who are demanding an apology. Also coming up on Eyewitness News, 4 individuals linked to the Power Distribution Services, PDS, arrested by the BNI for transfer of funds allegedly belonging to the ECG. And later, the West Africa Examination Council WAEC announces arrest of 5 people for examination malpractices in the ongoing Basic Education Certificate Examination. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Also coming up in business.
Local rice producers demand government intervention over 5 billion CD rice glut.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country. Around the globe, we are on citinewsroom.com. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. The number to send to is 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. Let's settle for our first story.
Well, the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachiofosu, has disclosed that 4 individuals linked to the defunct Power Distribution Services, PDS, have been arrested by the Bureau of National Investigations. This, he said, is part of ongoing investigations into the alleged transfer of funds believed to belong to the Electricity Company of Ghana. In a post on Facebook today, Felix Kwachiofosu said the arrests were carried out under the government anti-corruption initiative Operation Recover All Loot Oral. According to him, 4 suspects were picked up by the BNI last week as investigators probed the movement of what authorities believe are large sums of money linked to ECG. The individuals named by the minister are Philip Ayensu, Viraj Fat, Sophia Koko, and Justice Minka Premo.
In a short while, we will speak to someone from the Attorney General's Department to explain further on this particular statement as put out by the Minister of State in charge of Government Communication on this Power Distribution Services PDS issue. Remember, somewhere in 2019, the 1st of March 2019, this issue came up in respect of the activities of PDS and how this whole deal was abrogated. We'll speak to someone on this matter shortly. But before that, over the weekend, there were issues in respect of the financial statement of the Bank of Ghana for the year 2025. The majority in Ghana's parliament and the minority in Ghana's parliament as well have been going back and forth in respect of these losses as recorded by the Bank of Ghana. Let's get more on this and speak to Dr. Edusa Kodie. He's an economist to get his views on these figures as far as the Bank of Ghana and its finances are concerned, and the politics between the majority in Ghana's parliament and the minority as well. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. But from where you sit and reading the report, what are your own conclusions, sir?
Okay, so I think the conclusion I can draw from this is that the central bank, BOG, has decided to take the bullet and save the economy in the pursuit of their mandate of price stability, to keep inflation low, to keep exchange rates low. And I think the minority has, described the loss as underestimated, based on the accounting principle and based on the sale of the goods, of the gold. The point where I don't like is the over-politicization of the operations of the central bank. We had a majority caucus having a press conference over a Bank of Ghana report, financial statement, minority doing same. In fact, this dates back to 2022 when the central bank had to intervene to save the country from collapsing. And then people even called for the head of the governor of the central bank. So I think we should stop as a country and allow the central bank to be having the operational independence. The central bank has, even though the governor is appointed by the president, but they have operational independence. So you should allow them to operate. That's my first point. Second one is the losses they have made, the reasons they have given, the three reasons: the stabilization, the gold purchase program, and also the revaluation of the assets in dollars in cities, from dollars to cities, because of the lower exchange rate. When we take the first one, stabilization, I think stabilization has been on the table since the previous government, the previous administration under Dr. Addison. Because you remember in 2022, monies were printed and then the liquidity was more in the system, so they had to mop up the excess liquidity. And in the Bank of Ghana's, pursuit of gold purchase program, they have also made some liquidity available in the system, which they have to mop up. And the aggressiveness of it is where the concern is. The Bank of Ghana can make a loss in its operations, and the loss will not impair its operations. But I think many economists and I are of the view of the aggressive nature. I'm saying the aggressive nature of it because in the Bank of Ghana's own medium-term target of inflation is 8 plus or minus 2, between 6 and 10%. Why the aggressive pursuit of inflation to 3.2%? Why is that? So that is why some people are of the view, and I agree with them, that this loss could have been spread over the next 3 years or so, and not more or less front-loaded the loss in 1 year of this 15, and even minority is saying it's more than 15%. The second one is the gold purchase program. The Bank of Ghana, through the gold board, purchases the gold from the small-scale miners and also the large-scale miners. And they try to give them a higher price so they will not smuggle them outside. So in an attempt to give a higher price to the miners, they end up making a loss because they will sell less than what they give out. And this loss, we have been told by Honorable Sami Jamfi that going forward, Gold Board will record this loss and profits in their own books, and it will not sit in the books of the central bank. So there's some hope there. And last one, the revaluation of assets, which will not be a major concern because whether the city depreciates or appreciates, will have these revaluation losses or benefits. So my initial comment is first the over-politicization and the aggressive, pursuit of these policies, especially the first one, the stabilization, so to keep inflation low. And when in their own target, it is 8 plus or minus 2, and they are pursuing 3.2% inflation.
With the three reasons that you give, Doug, are they different from the reasons given between the 2022-2023 year?
2022-2023 report?
Yes. I mean, these three reasons that you gave, is it different from what was recorded previously?
Yes, somewhat different. I remember the 2022 loss very well. That was around 60 billion. And we know a chunk of it came from the haircut that the government gave. That was about 48 billion Ghana cedis haircut. So if you take 48 from 50, you're left with about 12. So it means that even without the DDEP, the Bank of Ghana's loss would have been lower than what is recorded in the year 2025, when the economy is far better than 2022. We know that Ghana's economy was literally on its knees. The reason the government had to go for an IMF program and a prior action was a domestic debt exchange, and afterwards we returned our attention to the external debt exchange. So the dynamics in 2022-2023 are quite different from what we have in 2025, because the 2025 economic situation was far better than what we experienced in 2022-2023. So if somebody was pursuing aggressive stabilization in 2022-2023, it was understandable. But in 2025, when the economy is far better and the economy was on the path of recovery, that aggressive approach was not warranted. Another point I've made is the DDEP. In the 2025, there's no DDEP, but in the 2022, the central bank had to endure painful haircuts, and that affected their equity. And for revaluation of assets, is been the same. I also don't think that in 2022-2023, I saw a major line item of this gold purchase program losses. If there was, I'm not saying there wasn't, but it wasn't that prominent. But what I can say for a fact is the DDEP, which reflected in that loss and which is not in this loss, which is making a big difference. And I concluded that even without DDEP, the loss of BOG in 2022, when the economy was virtually on its knees, that loss was, even better than the loss we are having in 2025, when the economy is far better than the situation in 2022-2023.
Doc, for the ordinary Ghanaian, if the person hears that the Bank of Ghana has recorded 15.6 billion loss, what would that mean to the ordinary Ghanaian on the street of Accra?
So you see, when you read the Bank of Ghana's reports, and if you have the privilege to read it, you get the impression that they are more or less taking a cue from what happened in 2022-2023. That, and let me summarize it in what my friend told me. He said, Bank of Ghana can Obiahu. So when they say Bank of Ghana has recorded a loss of 60 billion in 2022, and we're talking about it, he said, Omboka Obiahu. So you get the posture of the central bank that what happened in 2022-2023, though the bank incurred a loss, it was even giving the entire economy benefit. More like they took the bullet for the entire economy to benefit. And in 2025, we see a similar posture that why don't we take the bullet and incur a loss and allow inflation and exchange rates to reduce to the barest minimum? So they have to make a policy choice of, one, pursue stabilization for a lower prices, that's lower inflation and lower exchange rate, or two, do not pursue anything and allow inflation and exchange rate to go up. What will be the policy choice? So they took the first one, that is better to make a loss and allow and get a lower inflation and lower exchange rate than to even make a profit and allow inflation and exchange rate to go up. So they made a choice, and I'm not sure this loss, first of all, even the loss itself will not impair the operations of the central bank. So to a large extent, it will not have effect on us now. But, now there's a caveat here, but if the loss continues, and if the magnitude of the loss increases, then over time, the equity position of the central bank will be compromised. And that the government would have to recapitalize the central bank. And we know what it means, coming back to us for more taxes. That is where the challenge will be. That's where the impact on us will start, showing.
And from the reading of the room and what is happening, you think we can get there? Are we likely to get there?
No, Sammy, it's not good. It's not good at all. Now we have 3 years continuous. We recorded losses 3 years continuous. Is it 3 or 4 years continuous? And it's not good. It's not good at all. It's not giving us any positive signal, because in the near future, if this thing continues, say the next another 2 years, another 3 years, giving you 6 years, consecutive 6 years of losses, or maybe even 10 years, it will really compromise the equity position of the central bank. So we just hope that now that Honorable Sami Javi has said that the gold purchase program will no longer be in the books of the central bank, but that of the gold board is a good promise. And the sterilization, I just hope that they slow down and allow the economy to grow, because this sterilization also compromises economic growth and job creation. So we should not sacrifice economic growth, but allow the economy to expand. In fact, in the BOG report, they say that the economy is operating below potential. So if your GDP is going below potential, allow it to grow and endure some amount of inflation, because in your own target, it's 8 plus or minus 2. So if you are doing 3 and inflation goes to 6, and you are able to grow your economy and create jobs, you are still within your target. So why this aggressive approach of thinking you want to get a certain lower level of inflation? So they have to just allow it and then slow down with the sterilization. When they slow down, I believe the coming years, 2026, 2027, will be far better than this. If not, and if this thing continues, I'm afraid Kenyans will pay for it in the future.
Look, I'm told that.
Let me add one more point to this. Fighting inflation is not BOG's fight alone. Inflation has 2 sides: the demand side and the cost side. The cost push inflation is not a Bank of Ghana issue; it's a structural issue. So if the real sector, the Ministry of Agri, Transportation, Ministry of Trade, they all have to come on board to play their role. Because if we don't get irrigation and the rain doesn't fall, if our roads are not filled and transport costs rises and the food gets to Accra or Kumasi or the cities, the food price is up. No matter the amount of sterilization that the Bank of Ghana will do, inflation will still go up. So the call should not be the over-sterilization. The call should be on a comprehensive approach to the dealing of inflation or prices, i.e., I think the governor should also ask the finance minister and ask the agri minister and ask the trade minister and ask the transport minister. All other sectors must come on board in the fight against inflation. If we do not address the structural weaknesses that we have in the economy and continue to sterilize, it will be like fetching water into a basket. The other aspects will still come back and bite us. So the long-term solution for us is not for the Bank of Ghana to continue to do over-sterilization, but for the real sector to also play their role in the pursuit of price stability.
Doc, I'm reliably informed that already the bank's equity position is in negative 93 billion. And so this, many people argue that it's about time the bank, goes ahead with some recapitalization here, because it's already in the negative, which is 93 billion.
Okay, so again, we go back to the 3 reasons for the loss. The stabilization, which I believe in the coming years, the central bank will slow down so that it doesn't incur more cost.
And is that possible? Is that possible to slow it down? Looking at how
that's what I'm saying, that if the real sector also played a role, Bank of Ghana will not need to aggressively sterilize. Now the key word is aggressively sterilize. They will sterilize, but not that aggressive, which will cause more, give us more cost in that regard. And we also have the promise from Honorable Sami Javi that Gold Board will do better, will be a bit independent. So with these 2 reasons, I just hope that we don't get to the point where there will be the need for recapitalization. Because when we get to that point, the citizens, you and I, will have to pay the price for that. but we are not there yet. I just hope that we don't get to that point. That's why I made in my earlier submission, I made the point that the quantum of the loss and the continuation of the loss, the persistence of the loss, are very critical in analyzing the equity position. If this thing continues the next 2-3 years, the recapitalization will only be a necessity, and it will come back to bite us.
Doc,
now you say the loss is not impairing the operations of the central bank, so we keep making loss, but we all know that we are in a general equilibrium. Whatever happens, one variable will also affect the other variable. So we should not be oblivious of the fact that even if the central bank sinks, if they sink, we will also have to come and bail them out in future.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. Dr. Edusa Kodia is an economist speaking to us there. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, hundreds of patients left stranded at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital following withdrawal of OPD services by medical doctors.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real Flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're also listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Remember, Eyewitness News is also live on our affiliates across the country.
Well, if you're listening in the Western region, you can tune into Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrade. In the Bono region, we are Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ahafo region is Hamas Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, you can tune into Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM, also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, tune into Global 105.1 in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the Northern region, you can tune into Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, we are Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Pupeli 92.7 FM in Wa. In the Upper East region, we are Source 100.1 FM in Boko, Pure 100.5 FM in Avrongo, Gunzang 90.1 FM in Tongo, and the Northeast region, we are Scarp 101.3 FM in Nakbanduri and Radio Jimbali 107.3 MHz in Jimbali.
You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. The number to send to is 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. Now, Medical Lab Workers Union at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are demanding an immediate apology from doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The doctors have alleged that the results from the central lab are not fully reliable, leading them, in some cases, to refer patients to private facilities. One of the reasons they are demanding full access to the lab. Let's go to the phone line and speak to the General Secretary of the union, Dr. Cephas Akoto, to get more on this. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. You are demanding an apology from your colleague doctors at the hospital, but you know that the doctors are on strike basically because of an issue they raised with the lab union at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Are you aware of that? There seems to be some friction or some tension between the doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and the Medical Lab Workers Union. Is that the case?
Yes, good evening to your listeners. The truth is that
the matter at Kolebu is purely about doctors wanting to be in charge of laboratory operations. And over the period, it has never helped our operations. It has never helped the growth and development of the laboratory services. So as professionals, we wanted to have our own leadership. Medical doctors having their leadership, medical laboratory scientists also having their own leadership. But then healthcare is teamwork so that we can have collaboration and work effectively. It cannot be said that only doctors have the skills and wisdom to provide leadership in the healthcare industry. The whole hospital is managed by them. But where we have technical units, the professionals in charge have to be the ones managing that place. So, in fact, they have made some unsavory comments on radio and also during TV interviews where they sought to malign and discredit the professional work that we do. These things are done deliberately just to make laboratory professionals look very bad. We don't know the intent, but it is very sad that a whole medical doctor can go online and say that services that they cherish at the hospital is not accurate, but they prefer sending people to their own private facilities, and that is where they believe there is accuracy. It cannot be said that the accuracy of laboratory information is based on the title or the signature of a physician, when that physician is himself not a lab scientist. So we are still engaging on this, and we keep telling the public that they claim they do not have access to the laboratory, but the matter is not about them having access, but the leadership control of every unit within the hospital has been the agenda, and the laboratory has never been under their control, and they continue to push us to be under that, let me say, subvention. And we do not want to be subservient to any other profession. So Cephas, for you and your union, it's a no-go area. That is your territory, so you are protecting it. But yes, for leadership, a mathematics teacher cannot be the head of department for biology. And in fact, the IGP of Ghana cannot be the commander in charge of the military. It is never done that way. Every profession has its own uniqueness and skill. And so they should all have their own leadership. Physicians have their leadership up to directorate level. Laboratory scientists should also have their own leadership. We are all regulated separately, and we have our individual licenses that we work with. So we are pleading that the employer will have to look into this and be fair. So that is what we can say. But the doctors say, they are practitioners. Let's say pathologists or microbiologists have links to the lab, and so if these people should come and head the labs, it's still the same area though. And so for the lab union and your people to say that they should stay off completely, that is unacceptable. In fact, we have never said they should stay off. We have always been working together. As we speak, there is a hematology clinic at the central lab, and we work in collaboration with them. The sickle cell clinic at Kolebu is headed by the doctors. We work with them. If they say we are the same people and wherever you are, you should also head, then they should open the headship of the hospital so that any professional who works in the hospital can also become the head of the hospital. Or even the clinic, the hematology clinic, how do I call it? All the other departments we have in the hospital that doctors say they are the only people who qualify to be there. They should open it for everyone. But we believe we should respect professionalism and ensure that every autonomy of the individual professions are respected. But for someone to say that he is trained as a doctor, and because he's trained as a doctor, he has all the competencies and skills to pretend over every other profession when he knows nothing about that field. That is our problem. Because we need one of our kind who is knowledgeable in our field to give us direction. We cannot go to someone who knows nothing about our job to be directing us. That is what we are challenging. We are not saying we will not work together or we do not want doctors into the laboratory space. We have no issue with people coming into the space. We work together every day. What they are saying is a negative narrative just to malign the profession. But our issue is clear that it is laboratory control. And as I speak to you, the management of Kolebu has communicated to the chapter that the laboratory scientist who is appointed the head of department at Kolebu, they have revoked his appointment.
and they have placed a laboratory physician to head the department. This is what we do not know. Look at the messages that they keep circulating in social media. If you respect your colleague professional, you won't go on air and say such things. If we also want to come out and expose the illegalities and things that doctors are doing in this country, you open your mouth. You won't be, so I think that doctors have chosen to go dirty, and I expect that the government should not sit aloof, because we are also beneficiaries of the kind of system we run. And me as a lab scientist, I cannot go to hospital, see a doctor, the doctor take my medical history. He's the same person who ran investigations on me. He's the same person who prescribed drugs for me. No. Then where are the checks and balances? Even the government of Ghana has 3 departments for the purposes of checks and balances. I also want to be the jack of all trades and be everywhere. How can there be efficiency? How can there be quality patient care? In fact, in this country, we do not have doctors to do so many things. That is why people are even sent outside this country for simple, basic things that other countries are doing. Instead of developing skills in such areas, then we want to allow our doctors to rather take over professions that have also overgrown and are doing their job excellently. The Kolebu Central Lab we are talking about is internationally accredited. There are external auditors who come around to check the work they do, whether they are doing it accurately or not. No report has spoken negatively about the lab. If I talk about deteriorating laboratory services, just last month's report is available for any journalist to come and demand and see whether the laboratory is performing or not. These are things people try to do just to make someone look bad. But you see, all of us have been engaged for the kind of work we do. It is not my duty to pick and choose a job and say that I can do this better than somebody, so they should take it and give it to me. No. If I like to do that job, I have to go to school and be trained and licensed to practice it. If I want to become a medical doctor, I have to go to school, train as a medical doctor, be licensed and practice as such. So if a medical doctor wants to do the work of a laboratory scientist and he wants to practice in that space, he should just go to school, learn the job, come under regulation, and all of us will have one regulator. But you cannot say because you went to medical school, they should give you control when you have not been trained in that field.
Sevas, what is the Kolebu management doing about the situation? Because patients are those who are going to suffer at the end of the day. And in any case, if the doctors are on strike, I'm not sure the lab technicians will also be in a position to work, because it is the doctor who is expected to give you the lab form and bring it to your department for the sampling to be taken and then the results to be sent back to the doctor. And so what is management and you as a stakeholder doing to resolve this matter?
Right. So for us as stakeholders, we feel that the management of Kolebu as we have it now, they are conflicted. From the board level to the core management level, they are all conflicted. The board chairman was a former general secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, and he has also been in the fight of these physicians taking over laboratory job. Secondly, we have a CEO who also believes in the position of the doctor, and he is a doctor himself. So when they go for management meeting, it is only doctors who are in that meeting taking decisions. So you believe already management is biased already? It's biased. I can prove that to you. If they are not biased, then why should they revoke the appointment of a lab scientist who is working so well and has no flaw, and they will just revoke that appointment when already the Ministry of Health has asked all of us to take any action, and they will unilaterally revoke that appointment? If they are not biased, why would they do so? You see the CEO of Kolebu Teaching Hospital defending position of doctors because he's one of them. So we feel that the system as we have it in Kolebu is never fair. And for us to have any fairness, there must be an independent body to investigate the matter properly. And you will all come to realize that it is not an issue of accessibility to the laboratory, but issue of doctors wanting to have control. In fact, the quality of patient care in this country will be weakened if everything has to be done by a doctor. You will be overwhelmed. He alone will be overwhelmed.
Do you have a representation on the management or the board of Kolebu Teaching Hospital? I mean, your union.
We do not have representation, and that is why we want to be appointed in our leadership role, so that appointment will put us at that table. But when they go, it is only doctors who will be there to discuss, and they will end up deciding in their own interest. So the decision is a selfish one. That is what we are saying. But we keep talking to our members not to join any strike action. They should continue to stay and do the work, because the patient is our priority. We cannot let our self-interest override the service we provide to the good people of Ghana. But if management will look on for these things to continue for a very long time, maybe we will also have to cry out.
Cephas, thank you very much for your time. Dr. Cephas Akoto is the General Secretary of the Medical Lab Workers Union of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hello, my name is Wakadri, and I'm a man of many voices. Some people fall for Pamela.
Good afternoon, this is Pamela. We're revalidating some mobile app account. Kindly confirm your details.
Oh, my other victims who think I'm calling from.
Hello, customer experience here. Your account has been blocked. Please provide your PIN so we can reactivate it immediately.
Others panic and fall for that one.
Dear customer, click the link in the SMS we just sent you to upgrade to your ATM services.
My favorites are the ones who click first and think later.
Hey, Roddy.
Be honest. Like play, you could also fall for this. Stay safe. Remember, EcoBank will never call, email, or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details. Pay attention to detail.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
The World Cup is coming, and this time you're not just watching it, you're living it. Match Experience Hospitality is giving you front row access to football's biggest stage in absolute style. Think VIP stadium seating, exclusive lounges, gourmet dining, and priority access. No stress, no hassle, just pure football luxury. This isn't just a ticket. This is the World Cup experience. With over a decade as an official FIFA sales agent, Match Experience Hospitality knows exactly how to turn a match into a lifetime memory. So upgrade your World Cup. Call 055-155-1119. Visit matchexphospitality.com or walk into any Absa Bank branch, our official banking partner, today. Match Experience Hospitality. Don't just watch the game, live it. Match Experience Hospitality is doing this with Absa Bank as its official banking partner and Glyco as your official travel insurance partner.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafi, and tonight I'm here with Fafa Melody. Let's go back to our earlier story where the Minister of State in charge of government communications, Phyllis Kwatio-Fosu, has disclosed that 4 individuals linked to the defunct Power Distribution Services (PDS) have been arrested by the Bureau of National Investigations. Let's go onto the phone line and speak to Benjamin Alpha Edu. He speaks for the Attorney General's Department. Ben, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. What more can you tell us about this arrest?
Good evening, Sammy, and thank you for having me. This arrest follows the PDS investigations that we've all known that since 2019, government terminated the agreement between ECG and PDS. Now, following this termination, ECG and PDS entered into what was called the interim protocol arrangement, which was basically a transitional arrangement where ECG and PDS were supposed to reconcile accounts for the transfer of assets and liabilities. But before the interim protocol could be concluded, PDS went for arbitration, if you remember, at the London Court of International Arbitration. And so the reconciliation of accounts and the transfer of assets and liabilities stopped. Right? Now, in that period, there was some money belonging to ECG, which was held in an ECG account. And after the arbitration, which ECG won, it was discovered that these amounts or these monies had been deducted from the account. This is precisely the investigation or the circumstances for which these investigations have been, launched, and for which these 4 persons were arrested last week, granted bail, and as the Minister for Government Communications put out.
You said they are on bail. Have you charged them yet?
Yeah, so those details cannot be discussed at this point because it is a very rather preliminary stages. The investigation officers want to understand the full circumstances around which these monies, left these accounts. And so they deem it fit to call various persons that they think have a role to play in the depletion of these accounts. So these 4 persons have been invited initially, they've been questioned, they've been granted bail, and then further investigations go on. As and when they are properly charged or there's any updates on it, we'll be sure to update the public. But for now, they are invited, questioned, and granted bail.
Can you tell us the amount involved here?
Yes, we are looking at 850 million, about 850 million belonging to ECG, which was in their car bank account.
Cedis or dollars?
Ghana cedis.
And you believe this amount belongs to the ECG?
Yes, so this is an amount that was in ECG's car bank account, right? And then the arbitration proceedings. And if you remember, when I was giving the background, I said that there was a transitional arrangement where reconciliation was supposed to be done for the transfer of assets and liabilities. But pending that transitional arrangement, PDS took the matter to arbitration. So it was expected that arbitration will stay in the hands of both parties and that both assets and liabilities will be in the same position after the arbitration. After the arbitration, ECG won the arbitration. They came back to this account and they could not find these monies. And essentially, these monies have been depleted. And that is the investigation that has been launched to unravel the circumstances around which these monies have been depleted.
And the suspicion is that these 4 individuals know something about the depletion of these funds.
Precisely. These 4 individuals know something. So as a preliminary step, they've been invited for questioning and they've been granted bail pending further investigation.
However, how do you react to people who say that the government drive on oil is dead, and so you are just bringing this matter up to revive the conversation about oil?
I think that persons who make that claim are either deliberately ignoring the cases that are in court, or they have simply not, adjusted their minds to what is going on. First of all, as it stands now, when the oral committee that was constituted, the preliminary committee completed its work, there are about 280 cases that they deemed that demand the attention, prosecutorial attention of the Attorney General. Out of these cases, a number of dockets have been built. As we speak to you, there are about 8 cases in court involving close to 22 persons. This week, we are having a number of cases. Republic is a big one here, and others. We are having the cyber security software case. There's cross-examination of PW3, prosecution witness 3. There is a contaminant. There is Republic versus Basic. There is DC Abadjawai. There is Republic versus someone which involved someone another which involved the SkyTrain. And there are several other that have been built awaiting the filing of the charges and prosecution. I think that people have a legitimate expectation to expect that justice will be done speedily. That expectation, there's many people who give when you see the mandate and expect the Attorney General.
Ben, I am losing you. I'll be glad if you can reposition yourself because I'm gradually losing you. The sound isn't that clear. Yeah, it's better. Let's try again. Yes, I can hear you now.
So I'm saying that the public's expectation that people will be prosecuted and accountability will be exacted in respect of the many corrupt offenses or corrupt conduct or allegations that we had in the past government is very legitimate, and the Attorney General acknowledges that. However, some of the commentary is ill-informed to the extent that some of the facts are not true. First of all, that no prosecution is happening. There are about 8 cases in court and more others about to be filed. Secondly, that it is slow. Yes, that is a general criticism of our court system or of our judicial process in this country. And persons who are deemed to have committed corrupt offences cannot be treated differently. They must be put before court. Attorney General must prove its claim, and the Attorney General must ensure that it prosecutes its case to the letter, and so that it will lead to conviction. So a number of cases in court, and more others that the docket is ready, and others that are still in investigation, as we see in this PDS scandal. So yes, the rules of justice, as we see, may grind slowly, but surely convictions would come, and we urge the public to have faith in the Attorney General. Attorney General prefers painstaking, proper building of prosecutorial dockets to mere speed. Speed is good. Speedy trials are good, but it must not be sacrificed on the altar of due process. And that's what the Attorney General is ensuring. So there are a number of cases ongoing, and in due time, convictions will be secured. And if people are found not to have committed any wrongdoing, the court will make their own decision.
And all these 4 individuals, are they Ghanaians? Because I see a name here, which is Varaj Fats. Are they all Ghanaians, or he is a foreigner?
Yes, as for 3 individuals, I can confirm that they are Ghanaians. I'm not so sure about the identity of Fats, Mr. Fats, so I will not be able to conclusively confirm, but the 3 others are Ghanaians.
Ben, thank you very much for your time. Benjamin Alpha Edu speaks for the Attorney General's Department. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. A few of your WhatsApp messages have come in. Let me read some. Wills Yoga in Ho constituency said the arrest of 4 individuals linked to the PDS scandal marks a significant step in the fight against corruption. This isn't just a witch hunt, it is a vital measure of accountability. Upholding integrity within our government is essential for restoring public trust and ensuring that those in power are held responsible for their actions and inactions. Kennedy Onipayede says the MPP said oral is dead. The law must deal with the individuals involved in this PDS scandal to serve as a deterrent to others who may have the same mindset to loot the state. Delanyo from Pokwasi says PDS saga should be investigated to the fullest, and any money lost to the state must be recovered and corporates jailed severely. And Akapoina from him says the government must take appropriate steps to resolve the troubling issue at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital before lives are lost. We must be proactive in our dealings with human lives. And last one, Abi National in Wa says, I appeal to the doctors to consider their decision to return to the hospital to take care of our parents and sick brothers and sisters. To some more stories.
Well, the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, says major investment in senior high school infrastructure is the only lasting solution to challenges linked to Ghana's computerized school placement system. He says expanding facilities at the SHS level will help address placement difficulties faced by students each year. Speaking to BEC candidates at Asawinso Senior High School in the Western North region, Haruna Idrisu said government will roll out a nationwide sensitization campaign to help them choose their preferred schools.
To choose your schools after the examination results are declared, but we undertake a massive public education exercise for you to understand what is required of you. But to the Ghanaian population, we are dealing with the symptoms of the problem. If we want to enhance the computerized placement system, we must invest more in education infrastructure, more classrooms, more dormitories, more laboratories, and improvement in the learning, provision of learning materials and the quality of it.
You are the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu.
Meanwhile, the West Africa Examination Council, WAEC, has confirmed the arrest of 5 individuals for examination malpractice in the ongoing Basic Education Certificate examination across the country. According to the head of public affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, the suspects were picked up for various offenses, although full details are yet to be released. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Coming up next is the Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, which is brought to you by the Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic Verse. Do more, shine more. Big up.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa Kotufe. Let's settle for the details now. Local rice producers are calling on government to urgently address the growing glut of rice on the local market. Although Ghana imports about 60% of its rice consumption, spending more than $500 million annually on imports, an estimated 1 million metric tons of locally produced paddy rice remains unsold across the country. The Rice Producers and Millers Association of Ghana says the glut, valued at about 5 billion Ghana cedis, is largely due to a severe shortage of buyers for locally produced rice. Spokesperson for the association, Dr. Charles Nyaba, says the situation is becoming increasingly worrying.
When we harvested 2025, there were people who could not sell their 2024 rice. It all piled up 1.2 million metric tons of the rice that have not been sold. There were a series of engagements, including the president even directing National Food Buffer Stock to buy, directing school feeding to buy from the local farmers. They've never complied with any of that. Interacting with most of the farmers, they don't even know what to do. The loans that you took, they're able to pay them back. So how do you produce? So the problem is that dire. If government want to maintain the lower food inflation that we are currently enjoying, we need to do something. I sincerely plead with the authorities that matter. If government will even have to take loan to support these farmers to go into production, we will be very, very happy. Because
Dr. Charles Nyaba is the spokesperson for the Rice Producers and Millers Association of Ghana. Now, the Bank of Ghana has pushed back against claims that a group of formerly Twitter content creators who recently met with the central bank have political ties, stressing that their engagement was purely professional. The clarification comes after a meeting on April 22, 2026, where the creators raised concerns about ongoing delays in assessing earnings from the platform. In a statement issued on May 4, 2026, the BOG said the discussions were focused on finding solutions to payment challenges affecting the creators. The BOG acknowledged the concerns and said measures are being implemented to significantly cut down the time it takes for such payments to be processed. Moving on, some staff of the Ghana Highway Authority are raising serious concerns over the alleged diversion of axle load revenues into private accounts. They argue that the practice could undermine public finances and threaten the success of government's big push infrastructure agenda. In an interview with Citi Business News, the chairman of the Workers' Union, Noble Yasroku, called for urgent government intervention, noting that already the authority is confronted with logistics challenges.
Without equipment, without vehicle, supervision will be poor and we will see poor roads. We need equipment, we need vehicles to supervise the big push. The other one, party foot soldiers have taken over our Azuro stations in Ashanti region, in Akachi and in Mim in the Brown Afro. You see, these people have taken over the station and the funds collected are kept into a private account instead of a dedicated government account. And we believe that their action is against the Public Financial Management Act. And the president and government must take it serious. The other has to do, overloading will kill the big push if not checked. Yes, when trucks are overloaded, the roads will go bad in no time. Low pay is called to low morale at GHA. Risky job, poor pay, fix GHA salaries now. Motivate GHA staff, save our roads. These are some of the few things that we wish that the president will look at it and attend to the call from Ghana Highways Authority.
That was the chairman of the Workers' Union of the Ghana Highway Authority, Noble Yasroku. Now, the Mobile Money Advocacy Group Ghana is cautioning the agents against charging customers for deposits in the mobile money business. The warning comes amid growing concerns about non-compliant charges within the sector. President of MOMAG, Edward Ofori Ajman, gave the caution while speaking to the media on the sidelines of the association's MOMAG Day Out, an event aimed at strengthening engagement and networking among mobile money agents.
Charging a customer for deposit is not allowed. It's against the rules of the game. So whoever charges, the institution will take him on. However, customers should also bring the phone along because some of the customers are not bringing the phone along. That is the reason why some of the agents are charging, and it is a wrong attitude. So charging a customer to do a transaction is wrong. However, customers should also bring their devices. Some customers bring different devices, pretend as if this is the device. So we have, send a message to our members. If I come to do a transaction, whether cash out or deposit, without the phone, we will not do it. Either we will not charge.
Edward Ofori Ajman is president of the Mobile Money Advocacy Group Ghana. Now, the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atoforsen, has stressed that Ghana must shift away from its heavy reliance on borrowing to fund development, positioning domestic revenue mobilization as the most sustainable path to economic stability. Speaking after filing his tax returns, he stressed that the country's development agenda cannot continue to rely heavily on borrowing. He noted that strengthening tax compliance would expand fiscal space, enabling government to fund priority sectors without exacerbating debt vulnerabilities.
Compliance is not just a legal obligation, it's a moral responsibility on all of us as Ghanaians. Tax revenue funds essential public services such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, and security. When everyone pays their fair share, the burden is shared and development is accelerated. In fact, we can do better if we pay our taxes and pay it on time. A strong tax culture supports economic stability and growth. The Ghana Revenue Authority continues to modernize systems to make tax compliance simpler, fairer, and more transparent. Ongoing reforms aim to improve service delivery, reduce compliance costs, and enhance accountability will be accelerated. Taxpayers are encouraged to use digital platforms and support channels provided by GRA.
You are the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atoforsen. Well, that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafa. But if we're up next is Point Blank.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
No. We are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying reset to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News. And this is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. The Speaker of Ghana's Parliament has announced that on the 21st of May, the House will resume sitting. And a number of bills will be looked at. Tonight on Point Blank, we'll go to Parliament. Because my guest is the Member of Parliament for the Nandom constituency, Honorable Richard Kure. A former Director General of the Ghana Prison Service and now Member of Parliament. Richie, thank you very much for your time and good evening to you.
Thank you very much.
How's the constituency?
Well, we are managing.
What do you mean by you are managing?
We're trying to cope.
You're trying to cope?
What the issues are. You know it, there are a lot of issues.
Yeah. A number of issues in the constituency?
Yeah, in fact, in almost all constituencies, as you are aware, we have this huge problem of unemployment. And they are all looking up to the MP. Meanwhile, the MP doesn't have recruitment powers. But you have to.
Isn't it because of the promises you tell them? You give them promises of hope.
Yeah.
You sell hope to them. So they also buy the hope.
As a party. As a party, we did. If you look at our manifesto, it's there. So it's a collective issue we have to tackle.
So it's a party that makes a promise, but you ride on the vehicle of the party.
Yes.
The party is the vehicle.
Yes.
And then that's what you ride on to get the votes. And so
Yes.
if they are asking for employment, if they can't get to the party, they will get to you because it was the vehicle that you rode on.
That's true. And that's why I said we are struggling. We are struggling with it.
Let's still stay in the constituency. Talk to me about the health infrastructure in the Nandam constituency.
Yes, in Nandom, the Catholic Church has a St. Teresa's Hospital, quite a large hospital. We have other polyclinics around, and most importantly, we have what do you call them? Chip compounds.
Chip compounds.
There are many. We are managing them, trying to make the nurses comfortable as they work, and some of the inputs they need, because it's not just the human being sitting there that will make the hospital a hospital. You have to give the other issues that are needed. So that's what I mean by.
Yeah. What about education? You have secondary school. You have a secondary school there.
Nandom is the center of education in the north.
Okay, tell me about it.
You know, the Catholic Church first settled there, and you know what they do. First, they are thinking about education. They are thinking about health.
Yeah.
So they establish all this. Nandom has a secondary school established by the Dutch FIC brothers. In fact, that's where I went.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's a Catholic school. We have other schools like Senior High, and some other schools, technical schools. So we have them. And in fact, the educational level in Nandom is very, very high. Very high. So you cannot take anybody for granted. Yes.
What about roads? Are your roads good?
Nothing to write home about. It has always been a quarrel. You know, when they were presenting the big push, unfortunately, I didn't hear Nandom. Nandom is a border town next to Hamele, Burkina. So one would have thought that they will consider all these things and also give us some of the big push programs. Unfortunately, it has not happened.
Did you lobby?
It's a cabinet decision.
Yeah, it is, but sometimes you have to also lobby to get cabinet to include you in the decision.
Well, we did our best. We did our best. We have been assured the big push is not just a one-time activity. In the next year, they will do some, and so on and so forth. So it's not that all is lost. It's not lost.
So you don't have tarred roads at all. You have tarred roads in the constituency, or you don't have at all.
Oh, because of Soko, I know.
Yeah, I know the Soko project.
So the Soko project tarred some of our roads during the time of Nana Addo
Akufo-Addo. Okay.
So we have some sections that have tarred roads, but unfortunately, I don't think they were done very well. So they are now
seeing potholes all over the place.
They are not potholes. They are potwells. They are potwells. But we are trying to see how we can remedy the situation, because it causes a lot of accidents, particularly those who have motors.
Yeah,
that is a real problem.
Because of the manwells, as you call it,
yes,
it causes accidents.
Accidents, very much.
How is that in their attempt to maneuver through?
Yes, you want to dodge the pothole, and another one is ahead of you. So at the end of the day, you are involved in an accident.
You're a former Director General, away from the constituency. Let's talk about the Ghana Prison Service. Understand, you are a former Director General of the Ghana Prison Service. When was this? Which period is it?
Ghana Prison Service. When I finished the university, I was posted there to do national service. That was 1980.
Okay.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Then after the national service, because the educational standards were very low, so I wanted to leave, but my then bosses appealed to me. If everybody is leaving, it is a state institution.
Yeah.
It will remain where it is. So some of you should come and help us. So I considered and went in. I went through the senior ranks. I had my initial training. at the military academy.
Okay.
Because that time the prison service did not have
their own training facility. Okay.
So we went to Teshi. In fact, I trained there for about 7 months. It was Jerry Rollins who commissioned us. Even though I was a prison officer, they commissioned us. I was also lucky to go to the Ghana Armed Forces Staff College Junior Division. And I was again lucky because the other people didn't want to learn.
Yeah.
So I went to the Senior Division at Teshi. And from there, my career evolved. I've done a lot of things, but I was lucky that prison service did not take part in peacekeeping operations those days, because it was basically police and armed forces. Yeah, some of us fought hard that in a peacekeeping setting, there's a need for prison service.
We should include the police service in there? You mean we should include the prison service in peacekeeping?
Yeah, and we succeeded because you are rebuilding the institutions of state in that country. Because of the war, they were all destroyed. So you have to build those institutions. And you cannot have an efficient police when you don't have a place to put the prisoners. So we said it has to be holistic. You have to put all the justice system agents in it. Even we had the issue of having some judges were there for training, to train the people, and so on and so forth. So it became a holistic activity. From there, well, I was lucky. I started with working in Sudan, that is Khartoum, for about 3.5 years.
All this period, you were still a prison officer.
Yes, I was on leave of absence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when did you become Director General?
2000 to 2003.
Okay.
Yes.
That's when you became Director General.
Yes.
And when you retired, you went to work with the UN.
I didn't retire. I was asked,
to proceed on leave.
No, that's not the terminology that was used. I was asked to go to the Ministry of Interior.
Okay, you were reassigned
as advisor to the minister.
To the minister.
Quite frankly, I wasn't happy about that because that's a political appointment. At that time, I wasn't a politician. So I sought the UN job. Fortunately, I got it. So I first went to Khartoum. I was there for 3.5 years. From there, I was posted to the UN headquarters.
Okay.
For 4 years.
4 years.
After that, they created a new office in Brindisi, Italy.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about your stay in Khartoum, Sudan, and the rest. But then, as Director General, a former Director General, let's look at the current prison service that we have at the moment. Do you think we need reforms within the Ghana prison service?
Reform should be an ongoing activity.
Okay.
It cannot be one that you just
it shouldn't be. It should be a process, not just an event.
It's a process, yes. And we have been listening to the news, particularly issues of acute overcrowding.
Yeah.
Sometimes feeding of prison inmates, health needs of prisoners, and even the staff. Because if you work with the prisoners and they are sick, and you, a prison officer, you are likely to also contract the disease. So it's an ongoing thing.
And so there should be a deliberate attempt to ensure there's a general, review system of the prison service.
Yes, we are working on a number of issues.
Yeah.
Like law reform. You see, our present system is that when you go to court, smallest thing, go in.
You are sent to jail.
Even not that you are sent to jail. Remand.
Yeah.
If you dare plead not guilty, you are in remand for maybe 2 weeks. And you are a worker. You have a family. So we are working on that in Parliament. We are saying alternative to imprisonment. Imprisonment should be reserved for the hardened criminals and not those who have just committed relatively minor offenses and you just throw them in there.
Plantain, cassava, those people.
I steal a fowl. How much is a fowl? And you give me 3 years. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. How much is the fowl?
Yeah.
So we are trying to do that. There is currently a bill before Parliament, community service orders. Let them go and work and improve society. You see, instead of throwing them in there, you have destroyed them forever and their families. Their children may not be able to go to school again.
Yeah.
So we will also be considering later issues about parole. Yes. There are a number of alternatives to imprisonment which are being considered. That's part of the reform process.
So the mere fact of putting these people in prison, remand, and the rest is not really the best.
It's not the best. It depends on the crime committed. When it's such a small crime, please, you have destroyed the person. And he probably did not commit the offense. It's just that he didn't have money to engage a competent lawyer to defend him. And at the end of the day, he's in. Not all the people who are in prison are criminals.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Most of them, I'll say, okay, some of them are not.
It's just circumstances that brought them there.
I'm telling you, that's it.
But you serve on the intelligence, the Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliament, right?
Yes.
And some of, as you mentioned, there's currently a bill to review this whole prison system and the likes. But there are others who have also argued that, you know, when you sentence people, it serves as a deterrent. You take out the bad nuts out of society so they don't influence others to also engage in the same act that they also engaged in.
Is there empirical evidence that punishment, like imprisonment, reforms them?
There's none?
A lot of studies have done. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that if you go to jail, the next time you will not commit an offense. It doesn't follow. So I am of a different opinion that we should find other ways of punishing the people and not necessarily sending them to our overcrowded prisons. That's the way I see it.
But do we have the resources and the funding to think of other alternative punishment than just keep these people in prison and in jail?
I think, as you may have noticed, prison service is what they are doing now is engaging so much in trade training. When I say trade training, carpentry, they work and learn, so that when they come out of prison,
they can use
they have something they can use. Take farming. The prison service has a lot of farms, a lot across the country, and they are farming. So, fortunately for me, I also serve on the Prisons Council.
Okay.
So we have been discussing these things to see. It's not that you can do everything at once, but you pick some, deal with them. When you are done, you go to the next. You cannot deal with all of them at one go.
Looking at overcrowding in our various prisons, you think we need a new prison, a new medium security prison in this country, aside in Sawam?
In Sawam is not the only one. We have a maximum security prison at Ankafo.
Okay.
It's even higher in terms of security than in Sawam.
In Sawam.
Yes. So, building prisons, new prisons, one, is very costly. Two, that is not the solution to the problem. You do it, the next day the judges will fill them, the prisons. It's easier for them.
Is it that we should have an overhaul of the whole justice system?
Exactly. The criminal justice system should be overhauled. That is the way I see it. It should be overhauled. Just throwing people into custody, it's not helpful. I don't know the statistics as of now, but how many people have not died in the prison for something they probably did not do? So let's find other ways of punishing them. That is the contention. Not that it's only one. When you go to court, you should go to jail. You can, like I was saying, the community service bill is before Parliament. We can find ways of letting them...
So that bill, what is entailed in that bill? What alternative punishment is listed in that bill?
You will be sentenced to community service orders.
Such as?
No, they are saying, look, you will...
So if it's a community service,
yes, you
specifically...
you perform duties for the community.
So you go and do, say for instance...
Let's say carry
load,
no,
or go and distill the gutter. Is that it?
Yes, these are the things, so that we don't have to pay... Government does not have to pay people to do that. We already have somebody who has offended us, and the person should be punished, and he's doing that, the work he's doing.
But if someone is arrested for, let's say, stealing a goods,
yes,
and you decide to let the person go and distill gutters, so go home and come back and come and do it for a period of time, is that it?
Yes.
What if the person decides not to do it again? Decides that, I am tired, I'm not coming again, and decides to escape.
That's why the law is there. There are structures in it. Before you are sentenced to community service, the social welfare people will do an investigation on you. That is he likely to run away? If he is, then he is not suitable for community service. It's not that anybody who goes in there will be sentenced to community service orders. It's not. So they will do a background check on you. That's what I know.
We have seen normally, or I see, and I'm sure a number of listeners will also see in town, where you see a prison officer with a number of inmates, following them, either weeding or supervising them to do something else. There are people who have said that, is that not too risky to have just maybe one prison officer supervising like 10 or even 12 inmates, doing a community service, a communal service somewhere? What if they overpower the prison officer and escape? How do you determine which individuals go out with a prison officer to do this communal labor? I always want to have an understanding of it.
Good. What I can tell you is that not all prisoners qualify to go out to work. You must spend a number of years or months in the prison and must be of good character. They are sure you will not run away before you go. They do the checks. Take, for instance, if the prison officer, you have to go and sign at the gate, I'm taking these prisoners out. It doesn't mean that prisoners don't escape. Because the criminal is always thinking ahead of you. But if you take the levels, there are relatively few escapes. Relatively few. Yes. So it's not so much of a worry. And you must be somebody who has served part of your sentence. So that if you run away and you are grabbed, you go for additional.
You start all over again.
Yes. So who will want to? I've served my sentence almost at the end. Why should I even attempt?
So assuming 10 years and the person serves 8 years and is of good behavior, is able to go out and go and work.
Even we have what we call remission of sentences. You are entitled to 1/3 remission of your sentence ordinarily. If you are of good character and behavior, everything is fine. So it doesn't mean that if you are given 10 years, then you will serve 10 years. No. Government will give you 1/3 remission.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm dwelling more on the prisons because you are a former Director General of Ghana Prison Service. So my last question on the prisons. On what basis do the prison service recommend someone for a presidential pardon?
You see, presidential pardon, the government or the president will give guidelines.
Okay.
They will say the person must not have committed drug offenses.
Okay.
Or murder or rape. They exclude these people from presidential pardon.
Okay.
It's not everybody.
It's not everybody who's entitled to it.
No.
Okay.
So that is it. If you qualify, then you go out.
And so the prison service will then come with this background and with this guideline. You will then send the list.
Yes, you will now send the list, the guidelines to every prison to find out those who qualify under these terms. Then it's compiled and sent to His Excellency the President for approval. But if you look at the Constitution, yes, is there. He has the prerogative of mercy. He can pick anybody at any time and say, my brother, go home, sin no more. So these are there.
So the selection is done across prison. It's not one prison.
No.
It's a selection.
Yes.
Oh, okay, across
all the prisons.
And it's always a specific number, or that's at the discretion of the president, or is at the discretion of the council?
No. What happens is you are given the criteria. They cannot give you a number.
Okay.
From the criteria, at the end of the day, when you have done your assessment, then you will determine the number and then send it to the president or cabinet, or whatever it is, for them to give you the go ahead. Normally, it's commemorative period that is done, not that they just give amnesty. Of course, sometimes they look at those who are sick, or somebody is 80. Can he come out and commit another offense? It's too weak. So let him go and finish the rest of his life. So these things are there. Some people are terminally ill. Why do you want to keep them in prison to die there? So that is how it is done.
What about feeding? We are told that the food the prisoners eat is not the best. It's terrible, for want of a better word. As someone who's been in there, is that really the case?
Of course, yes. But recently, there was a barrage of issues on the president. They were feeding the prisoners 1 cedi, 80 pesos. So it's just recently this president came out and increased it to 5 cedis. We are outside there. Even 5 cedis. Can you buy a bottle of
You can buy.
Recently, the president was at Insawam, and at least he came out to promise that he will further increase the feeding rate. But he's also pushing the prison service, produce enough food to feed your inmates. And the prison service is saying, give us the implements. Because we cannot go with the bare hands. So discussions are ongoing. They are ongoing.
Parliament resumes on the 21st. As Speaker has come up with a communication. What should we expect when the House resumes? The new number of bills you'll be looking at when the House resumes sitting?
Yes, a number of bills. Take, for instance, there were some bills that were already in the pipeline. So we'll continue with them, like I mentioned, the community service bill and some others. There will be a number of them. There are a number of crisis issues which are not backed by law. And I'm sure the president will be interested in having the law passed so that his hands are strengthened to deal with the situation. But I don't know the details, which bills he will announce it on the day.
What about the LGBT bill? People are looking forward to that bill, you know. People are really looking forward to that bill. As a member of parliament, is it something that may be considered?
When it comes, we'll debate it. When it comes, we'll debate it.
But I know people have a lot of, I'm sure your constituents have a lot of interest about that bill as well.
Man to man. We will see. I'm sure we'll find a way of getting out of it. Yes.
Honorable, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
The Member of Parliament for the Nandom constituency, a former Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, Richard Conray, was my guest tonight on Point Blank on Eyewitness News. And it came to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier you heard Fafa Melody. The show produced by Kwabna Wilson, Beverly London, and Fred Teti Jabano, as well as Kelvin Sima. So we'll come your way again. May the good Lord be with us all.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302